Trying now with the onboard mic. Okay, onboard mic is working at the moment. It's working at the moment. Let's hope it stays working. It seems like it's working. Maybe it's my microphone, my dodgy connection. Fingers crossed. Come back, guys. Come back. This is try 3 for if I actually end up working and going live. It seems like it's working now.
Cool.
Yes.
Jamie.
My microphone, I think my laptop is getting old and I've got a dodgy USB connection. So I think the USB connection is cutting in and out and that's what's doing it. So hopefully just using the onboard mic, it's not going to be as good a sound, but at least the sound should hopefully work. Welcome back, guys. Sorry about all the hiccups. As you can see, we're not really that experienced at this stuff, the live stream stuff. Oh, that's good. All right. So basically I covered Archie before for those of you who saw it. I'm glad you guys have come back and persevering with us. So, yes, as I said, covering just Archie just quickly again. So I've got a new gear shifter mechanism from Function First. I'm going to put that into the car. I've also got an IMS bearing kit coming for it, and a couple of bits and pieces for that car that I need to go through. I need to go through and do some diagnostic tests and stuff. Work out why the brake light is still on. It's been on for the whole time. The brakes work fine, so that's good. So that takes us through to Harry. Harry's getting close. Harry, at least tomorrow I'm going to start filming the next episode. And
but I remember when you got the engine back from California, you said it would probably take about a month.
I really underestimated how long it would be to actually get that engine together. It's so much work.
Yeah.
So, so we've got people here. Captain GSR from California, Matt Northway. Hey, you go, Jamie Caspers. Hey, go, Jamie.
Bongo from UK.
Yes.
Tom from Maryland.
Queensland. We've got them all over the place. Do we still have the Beetle? No, we do not have the Beetle. I sold that at least 12 months ago now.
Was it 12 months ago?
Probably more than that. More than 12 months ago. So,
Did you get the clutch sorted?
The clutch sorted. I'm still waiting on some stuff for that, but I am going a hydraulic clutch on that car. Basically because, yes, you can get cables. I could get a cable to work on the car, but there's lots of people who actually convert over to hydraulic clutch. Hydraulic clutch is a better option. Once it's set up, it should work and just stay working for a long time without headache. So I'm happy to go with a hydraulic clutch. So I'm just waiting on a few more bits and pieces for that.
It is only a rumour that I'm going on the next Tassie trip. It's a rumour.
Yes.
Not a trip.
I don't see Mrs. Jeff being a passenger in that much driving.
I'd love to go to Tasmania, but sometimes I get car sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it starting in 1970, 9/11 project? What would you do different now with the current project? Lots of stuff. I think my body work is much better now. My metal fabrication stuff is much better. I may end up redoing that car at some stage because I can do it so much better. But I just want to get it going and drive it for a couple of years, a few years, and then when it starts getting a bit ratty, then I might give it another go. But for the time being, I'm pretty. I just want to get it on the road, and that makes.
That's a cool name. Q8 Fab Shop from Q8, but it's Q8. I like that. It's a cool name.
Yes, there you go, mate. Stu, take the 996 to Tassie, or no? Next time I'm going to be going in the air cooled like you did and did your big spin on.
Are you a fan of Magnus Walker? We have a Magnus Walker poster right over here.
Yes.
We got to meet him at a signing. This was 5 years ago.
Yeah. I'd like to go and see his collection. I think he's got some cool cars, and I'm a fan. Adam Ward saying I've got to drive it for at least as long as it took to build. That is probably a good a good rule of thumb. Yeah, so Harry, I'm actually going to be starting on tomorrow. I'm going to start trying to hopefully program the ECU, which I have no idea about. I haven't even done any research yet. Basically, my usual thing with most of this stuff is I don't really do much research or even much planning ahead until I get to the day and I'm like, okay, what am I doing today? Oh, okay, let's start doing this, and then I'll start actually researching it and seeing what I can do. So, yeah, I'm definitely not an expert at this stuff. I'm getting much better because I've been doing it a bit now, but yeah, there's not.
Okay, is there a chance of doing a tutorial on different tools as part of your short vids you do? Setting up the welder for cars, setting up air tools, like, yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, maybe I should start doing just maybe those who watch those short videos don't get watched as much as the big videos, but I seem like I got a really good response from my simple little welding rack, my steel rack, and those sort of things are good. I mean, I got some inspiration actually from watching Colin Furze did a workshop tour, and if you follow Colin Furze and know who he is in the UK, he's got a tiny little shed.
He's got 10 million subscribers. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, his workshop tour was really interesting and inspirational because his workshop is like less than a quarter of the size of mine, and he's got so much stuff in that little space, and I just like the idea of using whatever space you have efficiently. I mean, I'm lucky you've got quite a big garage, but I'm still full of stuff. I'm continually trying to find places. So
okay, it's a question. Why did you start with such a bad shelf for the Alpha? Couldn't you find a better one? No.
Well,
they're
hard to find, and B, you don't know what it's like until you've sandblasted it all. And sandblasting and everything sandblasting the car cost almost as much as the entire car itself. So once you're there, I'm a lot of money into it, and there's no turning back. And I knew I could fix it. I mean, it's also there are some people who've really like upset that I'm ruining a classic car and blah blah blah. That car was destined for the scrap heap anyway, so I can pretty much repair it and it'll be good. And I enjoy that stuff. So yeah. Heidi and Franny, how you going, guys? Heidi and Franny Garage, some great content there as well. You should check them out with their old Porsches and Beetles and Ferraris and all sorts of stuff. Good stuff.
And there's Wrench. Hi, Mike.
Would you ever do a rotary car? I'm not a big fan of rotaries, to be honest. Sorry, guys. It's just not my thing. I just.
Okay. Do you think the Ferrari will be done before Project Binky?
Probably not. I think they're getting close on that. I mean, because they did so much work beforehand, and it's more the way I want to go on the Ferrari. That's somebody asking about Harry before about ways I do things better. On the Ferrari, I plan on basically assembling and getting the entire car completely built without painting it, and then stripping it down and just putting it back together again. As opposed to Harry, which I sort of got mostly done and then put it in and then have to keep modifying things, and then you end up wrecking the paint. The paint is the last thing I'm going to do on this car, or maybe the interior after the paint, but yeah. Okay,
random guy wants to know if I get some shiny toys too, since you get all the stuff in the garage. Well, funny story, a few years ago I ordered a vacuum cleaner and the delivery guy, he dropped it off and he says, it's good to see you getting something for yourself, love. And I was like, hey, because that's what I was going to do.
And Mrs. Jeff gets to drive the other cars as well. It's it's not just me. Mike's here. Reg, how you going? Go, mate. He's building his blasphemy project. His 911 with a. I don't know if you announced what engine you're putting in that yet, but it's not a Porsche engine. So yeah. Go and have a look at his channel. He's going away on the bodywork and stuff at the moment as well, so that's worth watching. Jamie is just saying that Gordon Murray's Escort was also assembled completely before paint, and I think that's the proper way to do it. I just was very inexperienced when I did the 911, so that's not the way. Yeah, the way to do it is to completely finish it and then do it. See, I didn't do that on the Datsun either. I stupidly thought because I'm putting in a relatively factory engine, I wouldn't have to do that many modifications after paint, and that still wasn't the case. So you really need to get it all done beforehand. So yeah.
Oh yeah. Got a few questions coming about the Alpha color, and which is secret, but I know it, and wheels.
Wheels have been organised and the colour has been planned, but the colour is still going to be kept under wraps for a little while. I'm not super keen on. I think there needs to be some mystery in what's going on. So you just have to keep watching, and it's going to be a while because it's a while before you get on the paint.
Let's just hope it's not as long as the last two cars.
Yeah. What do we got?
House renos. Yes, we've done those.
I'm sort of doing some more work on the car now. I don't really get a lot of time for house renos anymore. The cars, having two projects on the go at once, it really takes up a lot of my time. But I am looking forward to hearing the 911 engine run, the Harry's engine run, but I'm also petrified of trying to start it because at the moment it's all perfect because it's unproven. When you turn the key, then you actually get to see whether it is actually perfect or not, and that's a worry.
Moment of truth.
So,
have you gotten any heat from the Alpha community for putting a Ferrari engine in?
It's mixed. There's a lot of Alpha guys think it's great, and some purists think that I'm completely ruining the car. So, yeah, it's a bit of both.
And have you confirmed where you're getting Harry's engine tuned?
No, I sort of have an idea, but I haven't confirmed it yet. So I'm still trying to work that out. But at the moment, I want to try and fully program the ECU myself and get it started and running and get the basic stuff worked out so that when I do take it to the dyno, there's basically it's doing the power runs and doing that sort of stuff and really fine tuning things. So yeah.
Okay, SimRig. Any more news on the sim setup?
Basically, it's pretty much as I left it from the second video. So if you looked at the my sim video 2, I do a bit of sim racing, but not much because I don't get a lot of time outside of here. I'm really spending a lot of time in the garage, so I do get on when I can get a chance, and I enjoy it. I'm mostly on iRacing these days, and I'm in sort of a local league, which I do on Monday nights with some local guys, but I don't get on there all the time. But yeah. Schrodinger's Porsche. Exactly. Exactly. That's a very good analogy. I like that.
Okay, a few people are asking, do you have any ideas for your next project?
I am still lost about what I'm really going to do on the next project. I keep thinking I should really do something English or American just to change up what I'm doing. The challenge is generally trying to find something that's still it's got some value in it when I'm finished. I couldn't justify doing the Beetle, for example, to a full teardown because I could put all this time and crazy amounts of money in it, and you could easily spend $50,000 on a Beetle, and the nicest Beetle in the world's worth probably $20,000, and that's just pouring money down the drain that I don't have, and I can't afford to do that. Whereas something like the Alpha costs a lot of money, but it's in Australia they're quite valuable cars, so it's still worth the money that I put into it, and that's an important part of these builds. Is I don't want to be just pouring money, good money after bad. So
okay, a few people asking what I do for a living. At the moment, I am a French teacher. I've done lots of other things in the past. Some people want to know if you're going to be taking Benny for a spin.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. Obviously, I talk about Benny a bit. He's been in a couple of these videos. He lives 5 minutes from me, and his workshop's around the corner, and I go and see him quite regularly. So we sort of chat about a lot of different bits and pieces. I bounce ideas off him about how to do some of these things. It's always good to have a second set of a second opinion about some of the ways to modify things.
Somebody just said do a Gemini next. That was like my first car. I had a whole Gemini.
A Gemini, that's the same issue, is that the Gemini is not worth enough to be able to spend the money to do it. I mean, yes, some of these classics have gone up in value, but they're still not worth the money to do it. And also, it needs to have – I try and pick also cars that have a bit of a international appeal. So if I did an old Holden Tirana, they are becoming quite valuable now, but the trouble is they're not. Nobody outside of Australia knows what they are. In some ways, that is sort of a fun thing that people like, but but I like to try and stick with things that people can relate to everywhere, and because the audience is broad, I want to try and keep my projects broad.
We have 2 dogs and 2 cats.
Yes, Sasha and Shorty. The miniature dachshund's name is Shorty, and
Sasha, golden retriever, and 2 cats.
Yes.
We really like animals.
Yes. What else have we got? Renault Alpine A110.
Ooh.
Fantastic car.
Yeah.
The issues I have with some of these things is that it's very difficult. I have to do a bit more research, but it's very difficult to register kit cars in Australia, or at least in New South Wales anymore. So
what about register a BMW 2002?
Possibly,
Yeah,
that's another one, but it's German. I am trying to think of English and American cars. Like, I do love the old German cars. I'd love to do an old Merc. I'd love to do an old BMW. They have been on my list, but I just sort of keep thinking of those other sides. The Alpine A110 is a fantastic car. I've also thought about doing a Stratos. I've also thought about doing a GT40, but registering those cars, those kit cars in Australia, is near on impossible now. It's becoming just. I would love to get a kit and build it and do a really, really good version, but I need to do some more research. But I believe it's almost impossible to register them, which really cuts out a lot of those really cool cars that I really love to do. And the original ones, they're millions of dollars. So it's outside of the realm of possibilities.
There's a lot of red tape in Australia. It's quite very bureaucratic.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yes.
A motorcycle project with a sidecar.
that would be me in the sidecar. Yeah, Mrs. Jeff would be on the motorbike.
I don't think so. It took me a long time to learn to run a bicycle, let alone a motorbike.
No, I tried to teach Mrs. Jeff on my parents' farm at one stage how to ride a 4-wheel motorbike, and she was sitting on the front and didn't get the concept of turning the handlebars. So she just the driveway started curving away, and she just went off the edge and just.
That's such an exaggeration.
It's not an exaggeration at all.
Does a dedicated track car fit in on your channel, or not so much?
Yes. And that is the idea. I have an idea of what I want to do as a track car, and I do want a track car, and that is definitely a next project. Planning on doing that after Harry is done. So there's we have to wait a little while on that one before I reveal it. But yes, there's definitely a track car in the future, because then I can start playing with some things that I haven't really played with much, like carbon fiber bits and things like that, which I think is. I like learning new skills, as a lot of you may understand. And the only problem is I hate fiberglass and the itchiness and stuff like that. It's just horrible. But I will start working with it, because it's another thing.
Okay. A couple of questions about merch. Would we consider doing a flag? Probably not.
I might. The issue is at the moment, like, I've also had comments about why the merch comes out of America and doesn't come out of Australia.
Yeah.
It's because I use a drop shipping company, Printful, who sort of make up the items to order. Because I don't actually sell that much merch, so there's no way I'd be able to have
a bedroom full of t-shirts.
Yeah.
Slowly siphon off.
And it would cost a lot of money that I wouldn't actually end up getting anything out of until I sold at least, say, 60% of it, and then I'm stuck with all these shirts and stuff that don't fit anybody, and it's just not right.
Thanks, Heidi and Franny. I would love to have a go on this, but that'd be awesome. And someone else has asked, are you living off your YouTube money yet? No. We'd be very, very hungry.
Very hungry. Particularly at the moment, the ad revenues are obviously right down. My views are up, but there's not as many companies putting ads up at the moment. So
they're not paying as much.
Yeah, so
pickings are slim.
So so definitely not making a living out of YouTube. No. Not even close. I finished work this morning as my regular day job, my firefighting job. So I just finished a 24-hour shift and came out to see you guys. Adam said, I'd love to see a track car trailer build with tire rack, etc. I should go over my car trailer again. I did cover it in one of my house episodes ages ago, but I've basically got a big monster flat car trailer that I made detachable sides for, and the ramps are actually the front and end of the trailer. So it's also doubles as a massive box trailer. So I can put it's got 450 mil sides on it all the way around. So I can just fill it up with rubbish and take it to the tip. So yes,
that's right. Iski Man, YouTube Money didn't even cover the vacuum. It definitely did not, because that was a few years ago as well.
Yeah.
People ask me about jobs around the home. There will be some things coming up, but probably not for a little while, about the home series. So maybe, I've got some ideas for that. So just
okay, good. I'm glad she does, because I've got very little ideas about that, because
you just inside your brain, it's just a car now. When I met you, you had lots of other different things and like home reno, but now it's just a giant car. That's it.
Is that a bad thing? Lotus Cortina or Mark III Cortina? Possibly, actually. There's a lot of old Jags. There's another thing. I'd love to do an E-type Jag, but they're really expensive starting point, so I'm not sure if that's going to work. I'll have to see. So,
thanks, Adam Ward.
Thanks, Adam. One of our patrons just gave us a super chat. Yes. YouTube does pay something, and thankfully now it's sort of helping to subsidise these things a lot. But the more the YouTube revenue goes, the more I'm doing crazier builds, so it doesn't really, it still doesn't balance out.
A Toyota Celica. We did used to have a Toyota Corolla.
Yes, you like.
I liked it. It was good. It's but we first got together, and it was before I could start. I had to get up, open the bonnet. I had to fiddle around with the battery connections, close it again. So it wasn't like a great car if you were in a rush or wearing something white. Yes. Or wanted to have clean hands.
America's Choice said XJS V12 with a manual. That is definitely a possibility. I do like the old the XJS. That could be something to look into. It's a challenge.
Buy a
spark plug. Thank you, Gavin.
We got rid of that. Thank you. That was just in our early courting days.
Fiat X190, another interesting one. There's a few out there. I keep going backwards and forwards on all different cars, and I can't nail it down. But I've still got a while. The Alfa-Ferrari, is going to take quite some time yet before it's done. So,
Jonathan O'Hagan from Ireland. Nobody's doing an old school Citroen.
There's not a lot of. There weren't a lot of Citroens that came to Australia. They're more popular in Europe, but not very common here. Actually, some of them are actually quite interesting, actually. But
we have been in the US.
Ever been to the USA? Quite a few times.
Okay. Jeff, what is the key to keeping yourself motivated in the garage? Jeff has a lot of energy. He's just come up a 24-hour shift, and he's got a lot of energy. It's quite amazing.
Yeah, look, I have energy. I mean, YouTube is actually a really good inspiration to keep me coming out in the garage. That sort of keeps me motivated, because sometimes it does feel like work. If I would be building these cars whether it was on YouTube or not, but they would take a lot longer if they weren't on YouTube, because I wouldn't be spending anywhere near the time and effort in this. But I wouldn't have learned as much. I wouldn't have been my skill level wouldn't have gone up to where it's gotten already. Actually, I get a lot of people asking me about how to, they look at these projects and they're overwhelming, and they have a project in their garage. They don't know where to start or what to do. And my suggestion with that is always pick a little job. And that's what I do with all of my projects, is you just go, if I looked at the Alfa-Ferrari as a whole, I would just feel overwhelmed and go, there's too much to do, and just give up, and I wouldn't get there. The way to tackle it is to look at what's the first thing I need to do? Oh, there's this little rust hole. Okay, yes, that thing was covered in rust holes. Pick one rust hole and patch it and repair it. And if you mess it up, do it again until it's right. It's not done until it's done properly, and you'll learn and move on like that. So just picking a little project until you get that done, and then okay, that's done. Okay, let's do the next one. And if you don't get it right, I didn't get it right first time. I make heaps of mistakes. So that's how you learn.
Yeah,
So
you like structure too. Like you're someone who likes to have kind of a routine, and you thrive on that.
yeah,
Yeah.
I am. My mates at work give me heaps because I am very very structured. I like as a firefighter, obviously the jobs vary wherever, but if we're not at a job, I like doing things at this time and that.
Well, this is a good question. If you could have an expert teach you any one skill for a day, what would that skill be?
At the moment, the first thing that jumps to my mind is TIG welding aluminium and getting some more TIG welding practice. But yeah, there's so many things that I want to learn more about. I like I've been getting more interested in doing some machining and milling and things like that. That's sort of quite interesting. Yeah, I just like learning how to do all of it. So I hate relying on other people and waiting for something to get done and having to bug someone. Whereas if I can do it myself, then it's just on me. If I reckon, I don't mind if it takes me longer if I can learn and get to enjoy it. I enjoy doing it. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think we're both kind of like that. What's the best tool you ever bought? Ooh. So many choices. So many tools that he loves.
Yeah. At the moment, I think just a MIG welder, I think is a great place to start. I mean, particularly most of what I'm doing now is sort of fabrication stuff at the moment, and being able to weld things up and make things up is just opens up a whole range of possibilities. It just means that I can do so much stuff. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Any plans for four-wheel drive or diesel or electric project in the future?
Electric is definitely something that I would consider doing. I'm not at this stage. I mean, that's something that I'd like to learn more about and definitely do some sort of electric conversion at some stage. Maybe when it's easier to get a crash Tesla and rip the guts out and put it in something else. So that is a possibility. Diesel, I have very little experience with, and I don't have a lot of motivation towards diesel stuff. There's it's not really my thing. Off-road stuff potentially, but it probably would be more of the safari type thing rather than a sort of big Nissan Patrol or Land Cruiser or something. I had a raised up Hilux, Toyota Hilux a few years ago, and I'm not a full driver. I like going if I'm going to be going off road and stuff. I want to be going fast, not just sort of slow rock crawling over stuff. That's more my style. So speed is more rather than just off road blasting. Although I've been watching cross kart videos, those things look like a bunch of fun. So, yeah, who knows? Maybe a motorbike powered something. Like a Hayabusa engine, some little tiny thing. Yeah, that would be fun.
Have you considered doing anything with the Audi 1.5 engine?
Audi, where was it? Audi. Oh, the Audi S5 that I had, I think is what you're talking about.
S5.
Yeah. No, that car's long gone.
It's gone to the car heaven.
It has.
Had a horrible ending, and we very, very sad about it.
That's why we have Archie. It's actually, to be honest, like day-to-day driving the Audi was much nicer than Archie. Archie is much lighter and more responsive, and gives you and sort of you can really feel everything it's doing. Whereas the S5 was sort of big and heavy. It's still
I think I like Archie better. I think it feels more like snugger. Feels snugger around me. Like it's sort of nuggety.
I still prefer Archie, but the Audi was definitely much better highway cruiser and more comfortable car. But lots of electrical problems that. The just little things kept messing up on it that were annoying. The reversing camera stopped working. The passenger door stopped opening, stopped unlocking. Yeah, lots of annoying little electrical problems that let that car down.
Okay, do you like any old American muscle cars?
I do.
Yeah.
To be honest, I actually much prefer. I've always had a thing for old American muscle cars where I haven't really been an Australian muscle car guy. I don't mind some of the old Monaros and stuff like that, but I'm not as big on that. I do always like the old Mustangs and like fastback Mustangs particularly, and and Camaros and all that stuff. I do actually like the sort of the old American muscle cars, but I'm more of a fan of light things. My dream car years ago, and potentially still something that I would consider doing in the future, is a '59 Corvette. So I like the old early C1 Corvettes with the generally it's got a sort of white cove on the side, dual round chrome headlights. I like that. I think that's a beautiful car. And if I was going to have a convertible, that's one of the few convertibles I would actually like to have at some stage. America's Choice said GT40, like I mentioned before. Yeah. There's a local guy who has one, who has a replica that he had a lot of trouble getting registered, but managed to do it recently. But yeah, he's actually registered in the ACT in Australia Capital Territory, not in New South Wales, and because he couldn't get it registered here. So yeah.
Have you seen the B is for Build Mustang conversion?
I have. Yes, that's actually something I thought of doing many years ago, but again, I don't know whether it would be. I don't know how legal it would be in Australia. That's something that you possibly could get legal because it was you're modifying an existing car. Just whether they would be happy about the. I'm not really big fan of how much of the structure of that car has been cut off. It has been replaced with a full welding cage, but you're not allowed to have a front roll cage in cars in Australia. They're not on the road anyway. So, yeah, I'm not sure about that one. I do like the idea, though. I love the idea. All right. Any more before we sort of wrap it up? What's your favourite Alpha, including concepts? Oh, the Tipo 33 Stradale is beautiful. Beautiful car. Absolutely, yeah. Saying so many rules to keep up with over here. There are heaps of rules and regulations in Australia that we have to comply to, and it's getting harder and harder to modify cars at all. For example, I had a phone call with a mate the other day, pardon me, about just putting some modern Holden seats in an old Holden Ute. And that has to be actually assessed and analysed and engineered to be legal on the road. You can't just put them in there and hope it's okay. I also believe that some of the old cars, like sort of 60s cars, it's illegal to drive on the road in Australia with a racing harness, but these old cars that never had a seatbelt, you can drive without a seatbelt because it never came out with one. But if you put a racing harness in it, it's illegal. So
yeah,
it's just there's so many stupid rules.
Okay.
Yes.
Probably last couple.
Yeah, is the Alpha going to get a roll cage? Yes, it's definitely going to get a half cage, and there's going to be a lot of reinforcing. People ask me continually about, are you going to reinforce the car? And I have said in many of the videos that I will be reinforcing it, but I still get people asking, are you going to reinforce it? Are you going to reinforce it? Definitely. But I want to get everything in there first because it's not worth reinforcing it and then realize I have to cut some stuff out to get the engine and stuff to fit and work and then reinforce it again. So I'll wait until the engine and most of the stuff is in there and then I can go through and reinforce it.
No, neither of us are professional mechanics, just super handy, self-taught. Have we met the Bad Obsession Motorsport guys in person? No.
I have not, but I am a big fan of Project Binky. I think it's
we would love to.
the best thing on the best thing on YouTube. It's fantastic. I mean, I still yet to meet Alan Woody from the Skid Factory. I'm keen on meeting those guys, but they live in Queensland. I live down here. I know Benny. That's about it as far as other YouTubers, really, just because he's local and a mate.
Would you do another Z project, and would you do an old Mini?
Old Mini is definitely something I would do. The only trouble is that I like to do something that's a little bit different that somebody else hasn't done, and Project Binky has been done so well that it's hard to do something like that without sort of being accused of copying them or just. I mean, I would not do the same project. The project was far too difficult fitting that engine in there. But yeah, it's something that we would do. Have I entered the Alfa into the International Quarantine Car Show? I don't think it's really my my place. I think that's I've already have a following and stuff. I don't need to enter that into. I know of it. The DeBoss Garage has got a bunch of other YouTubers, including Bad Obsession Motorsport, who are judging the competition, and people are putting their project into online. So if you've got a project car, enter it in. I think I don't think mine needs to go into that category. I think we should leave it for people who don't have an online outlet like I do. So yeah, want to do 356? Definitely. At some stage, I would love to do a nice resto mod 356, or maybe not resto mod, but like completely standard cars don't really blow my hair back. So I want. It'll run out of it.
Thoughts on Urchfab?
I love
MX-5.
Yes, Matt Urchfab. His project is fantastic. So he took a little Mazda MX-5 and basically cut the body off and put an old what are they, Ford Anglia, I think they are in Australia, body over the top, and did it well and did it properly, and it's a very, very good project, and it's definitely worth checking out.
Collaboration with Mighty Car Mods, we'd love
to. The thing is there's not a lot of incentive for them to do collaborations with little channels.
We're a very small channel.
We're tiny. I have talked to Benny about doing collaborations with some of the other Australian channels that are around our same level here in Australia. So that is something that we will definitely consider, talking about a track day or something like that.
Apparently the 240Z has not yet made it to America. Apparently it is still sitting in a warehouse in Sydney somewhere.
Yes.
Which is super frustrating. And my daily driver is whatever car Jeff doesn't need.
So she drives Archie sometimes, or we've got a 15-year-old Mercedes ML500 station like SUV thing. That's the tow car. That's the work pig that gets stuff thrown in the back of it. It's got to do a ute. I actually used to own a Commodore Ute. I had and it was airbrushed with flames and stuff on it. that was my everyday car for quite some time.
It was another era, and that was kind of a thing at the time. Like it was.
Yes, it was quite a handy car, but the trouble is that it doesn't work in our life as well, because I found with the dogs and stuff, you can only really fit two people in it. Mrs. Jeff is not a fan of having the dogs in the tray, particularly not if we have to carry the cats around. So,
not that we don't drive around with all our pets in the car all the time.
But if we do have to go somewhere with them, then we need something that we can sort of.
It wasn't practical. So, like it's good for you to cite one person.
So
one or two guys.
Yes.
So, cool. Okay.
Do we get Alphas speaker injection cars in Australia? Yes, I believe we probably did. We've had Alphas the whole time. We've got they're quite cheap old Alphas now in Australia.
Do I do my own research? But if you've seen the bloopers, you probably know that some of it is new for me. But I have learned a lot. Like when I met Jeff, I didn't even have a car. I'm not from a car family, so
yes. Yeah,
I've learned lots.
What does Mrs. Jeff think of the naked woman on the bonnet, the airbrushed bonnet I have in the background? Yeah,
super annoying.
Many of you may or may not know that I made my living for 13 years before I was a firefighter as an airbrush artist. So I did cars and Harley. So I have some idea about painting. I was never qualified as a spray painter, but I did artwork on cars and things like that. And there's a bonnet kicking around that used to be up in the back of the workshop that's got a half naked woman on it. That's just one of my artworks, many from that time. You crack me. You both crack me up, and Heidi and Franny saying we crack me up. We have more cars than you guys do. That is definitely not true. I've seen your garage. You have more than us. We have 4 cars. I've seen you've got 3 lifts with 2 cars on each. So you guys beat us, and you've got scooters and stuff. So you guys win.
But Tasteless, I hope I put a limit on how many cars Jeff's allowed to drive. Yeah.
I'm only allowed to drive one at a time.
I say one comes in, one goes out. One comes in, one goes out. Like
As an airbrush artist, would you design a badge for the Alfa Ferrari? I already have. There is merch in the description of the regular videos with the new Alfa Ferrari logo. I've actually designed it. I did a sketch, and I got one of you guys, one of the viewers, who did up the artwork, and sort of basically I blended the Alfa logo into the Ferrari logo. So instead of being half Alfa, half Ferrari, it sort of goes from one font to the next. It's have a look in the store. It's a great logo.
Okay.
All right. Well,
thank you so much for joining us. It's been heaps of fun.
Yes, it's been fun. I hopefully we answered a lot of your questions, and stay safe, everyone, and enjoy whatever's left of your weekend. All right, see you guys. All right, and we'll end there.